The key was a cold coin in my palm, a dead man's offering. I came home 3 hours early, my coat reeking of the diner's fryer oilless smell that had become a permanent part of my skin. The door clicked shut behind me, and I heard it before I saw anything, a low, rhythmic moan that didn't stop when I froze in the hallway. What do you do when the 3 people you trust most erase you from their intimacy, like you were never even a contender? Our apartment was a 3-bedroom compromise, a tenement of secrets funded by my father's guilt and Kay's father's indifference. R and I had claimed the room with the fire escape. Kay took the one with the broken lock, and I got the closet they called a bedroom, a cramped space with a window that looked out at a brick wall. We had a pact, R and I, sealed with cheap wine and pinky swears during a thunderstorm 6 months ago. We would never go after each other's crushes. She knew mine was Kay, I knew hers was a. It was a clean line, a boundary drawn in smoke, and I believed it with the pathetic desperation of someone who had nothing else to hold. My hands were cold when I dropped my keys in the bowl on the console table, the clatter too loud in the quiet. Then I caught it again, louder this time, a breathy gasp that hit the ceiling of the hallway and ricocheted off the walls. I knew that gasp. My feet carried me past the kitchen, past the shared bathroom, my heart a dull thud against my ribs that I tried to rationalize. It could be TV. It could be a movie with the volume turned up too high. I had walked in on them watching horror films before, screaming and shoving each other on the couch. I gripped the edge of the doorframe to Kay's room, my knuckles white, the wood rough against my fingertips. Then I heard the voice, R's voice. Her laugh turned to a whimper, a sound I'd heard 100 times when she was drunk or scared, but never like this. It was a wordless confession. It was her body speaking a truth her mouth never would. My stomach turned, a violent lurch that pushed bile up into my throat. I tasted the salt of the fries I'd served all afternoon, the bitterness of the burnt coffee I'd cleaned off the counter. I took a breath to call out, to announce myself, to stop it before it went further, but then another voice slithered through the cracked door. Careful, R.A.'s voice said, calm and conspiratorial, a director's tone that cut through the haze. She was there too, not watching but participating. The pact didn't matter. My feelings didn't matter. I was a ghost in the walls of my own home. The moans stopped, a sudden, brutal silence that was worse than the sound. Someone had heard me. My heel had shifted on a loose floorboard, or my breath had caught too sharp, and now they were frozen, waiting for me to leave. I felt the blood drain from my fingertips, my face burning hot. I backed away, my sneakers making no sound on the cheap carpet. I pressed myself against the front door, the solid weight of it against my spine. They knew I was here, they knew I had heard, and they didn't call out for me. They didn't explain, they just waited. For 3 days, I lived in a fog of silence and avoidance. I left before they woke and came back after the lights were off. My room became a holding cell. I could hear them through the walls, laughing, cooking, living, their voices a low hum that scraped against my nerves. R sent me text memes about a show we used to watch, a picture of her lunch, asking how my shift was. I typed a dozen replies and deleted them all. I could feel the lie in every message she sent, a passive-aggressive denial that told me more than any confession ever could. They were testing to see if I had heard, if I knew, if I would break. I scrubbed the skin over my collarbone until it was raw, trying to remove the feeling of being an outsider in my own body. The apartment was a trap, every hallway was a memory, every closed door an accusation. The grief was a slow poison, threading through my veins, replacing the love with a cold, corrosive shame. I had loved Kay with the quiet desperation of a kept secret, and he had been giving everything I wanted to Rand more, to A. I relive that sound every time I close my eyes. It's not R's voice or A's voice or Kay's deep, panting breaths I hear. It's the silence that followed, the silence that chose them over me. It was a brutal act of erasure. My love was never a consideration in their actions, just collateral damage in a game I didn't know we were playing. I am 19 years old, and I have learned that intimacy is not a private thing. It is a club, and I have been barred from the door. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if I can. The truth has a smelled fried rice, the stale coffee, the cheap perfume on my jacket. It follows me through the hallways of this apartment. The silence, the pact, the shattered illusion are all here, and I have no way out but to pretend I heard nothing at all. I open my phone. R has sent another message, A photo of all three of them smiling at a diner table, their arms around each other, the same diner where I work. The betrayal is casual offhand. It's not the act itself that breaks me. It's the planning. It's the after. It's the laughter in the photo, and the fact that I am the one they are laughing about. I want to scream at them, but my voice is locked in my throat. I want to smash the bowl of keys, scatter them on the floor like I scatter the truth in my mind. But I just sit there, my thumb hovering over the message, and I feel helpless, hollowed out, waiting for a future that doesn't include them, but terrified of being alone. The pattern breaks when Kay walks out of his room, stretches, and sees me for the first time in days. He smiles, the same easy smile, and says, "Hey, we missed you." That's the final knife. He says it like he means it.
There is no singular villain here. The antagonist is the system you are embedded within, a closed loop of emotional convenience. Your friends have formed a silent, functional pact where their desires override your presence. Their actions are not malicious in intent, they are merely self-preserving. By not acknowledging the incident, they are engaging in a form of collective gaslighting, where your reality, your pain, your hearing is rendered irrelevant to maintain their comfort. They are not fighting you, they are erasing you from the equation, which is a far more insidious form of betrayal because it denies you even the dignity of being an opponent.